Hello and welcome back to CA 121. Here we are going to cover chapter numerator. In particular, we are going to be talking about macros. Now, first off, what exactly are macros? Well, macros are it's basically the programming that is happening behind the scenes. When you open up a worksheet, you have those great tabs. So if I were to open up a worksheet like this, I have these tabs and I have preset functions. For example, you have the auto sum function. Well, there's programming that goes in behind all of these buttons right here. And let's just say that you don't have a button for what you want to do, or you have a series of things or commands that you want to complete, where you can create your own macro, which is basically one of these buttons right here that has programming behind it. Alright, so the first one says to display the mortgage chart sheet and record a macro. Well, in order to record a macro, you have to have this little developer tab. If you don't have that, you have to go to Options, File, Options. You go to Customize your ribbon, and you have to have the developer tab clicked. Okay, press OK, and you should now have that developer tab. In that developer tab, we can create macros. So what we're going to do is we're going to record a macro, name chart setup, and we're going to assign a shortcut key. Basically, I could use the shortcut key on any worksheet of the workbook, and it would complete the same commands that I'm about to be doing. And it says, as the description say, create footers in chart sheets. Right. Now, what does the recording do? It doesn't record where I click. It doesn't matter where I'm clicking, but it records actions. So if I insert a name, or if I change some of the settings here of the chart, then that is going to be recorded. So I want to complete an action to the sheet itself. So I'm going to click outside the chart, go to page layout, and I'm going to insert a custom footer with the file name in the left-hand section, sheet name in the right-hand section. Press OK. Okay. And then I'm going to click the developer tab, and I'm going to press stop recording. Okay. Now what is that going to do? That's going to make it so that I can complete those same commands on any other worksheet that I want. I could use the shortcut key, Control J, or I can actually add that macro to my quick access toolbar, which I already did, so I forgot to delete it. So to do that, you just click here. Here's your quick access toolbar. You can say more commands. Let me delete it. So basically, you can go to popular commands, or you can just filter down to macros. You can find where you created the macro, click add. It wants you to modify the macro so that it has a different icon. The icon that they want is pi, but if you don't have the pi, then you can assign any macro that you like. My pi is not in the same place as where they said it was. There is mine. I'm going to press OK. And press OK, and it should now be there. So basically, now I can go to the mortgage chart. I'm sorry. Okay, before I use that macro, they want me to display the macro code and edit it a little bit. So again, we're on the developer tab. We go to macros. We should have the chart set up there. We can click on edit. It says click on the apostrophe right here. Click the space bar and click inserts, file name, and sheet name. Now what is this? This is called, the language of these commands is called VBA, Visual Basics. Okay, so that's the language code of this. Now so this is called Module 1. So this is each unit of code, or each time that I create a macro, it creates a module. So it's kind of like grouping your codes together. And these codes right here, these are your actions. And we call those actions procedures. So here's the module, and the module is made up of procedures. And the coding is called Visual Basic. Step 6, they want me to take this, they want me to close this out and go to the construction chart sheet, and they want me to try out my macro that I just made, which is right here. I can use the shortcut or I can use Control J. Just click on it once. It might have this, just press End, it's fine. Go to File, Print, and now you should have in your left hand section it's a file name and then the sheet name right there on the right hand side. Next, they want me to display the summary sheet. So here we go. And insert some ActiveX checkboxes. Now remember, ActiveX is using your developer tab, so if you haven't added it in, you need to. And we are going to insert some ActiveX controls, and they want the one with the checkboxes. So I'm going to insert that 3 times. I like to just do a kind of a copy and paste. So you want it in B10, B12, and B14. And then I'm going to go ahead and view the properties and do some editing. So the first check mark, they want it to say billing for the name, and for the caption. And this is in alphabetical order, billing, verified. And when I say alphabetical order, the items are listed in alphabetical order that I want to edit. Right. Now I could close this out and click on the next one, or I could use the drop down box and go to the second checkbox. This should be contact. Contacts verified. Next checkbox. Manager and manager assigned. Okay, so now it should have changed those. Now I want to edit all 3 at the same time, so I'm going to go back to my properties, and it says it wants the height to be 18 and the width 105, so I'm going to go to height 18, width 105. Right, so just be careful. Typically when you change height and width, you should go to format, but then if you change the height to 18, that'd be 18 inches. So make sure that when you're doing that, you're on the developer tab and on properties. It says distribute vertically and line left. The easiest way that I found to do that is to actually go to your format tab while you're clicked on them and go to, align, and we're going to align left, and we're going to distribute vertically. It says turn off the design mode. So what we were doing is we were designing these so that if I click these, it doesn't put the check mark. But now if I go to developer and I turn off the design mode, when I click on them, they will now click. Right now it wants me to go to my toolbar and remove my macro. Display the file properties. Go to File Info. And it's the tags. It wants billing summary. And it's subject. Wants your course name, whatever you want to put there is fine. Alright, and now they want me to go to the developer tab again, go to my macros, click edit, and they want me to copy and paste this. Why do they want me to copy and paste this? Well, the reason being is because macros, because we're basically writing in code into this Excel workbook, when I go to upload it somewhere, it kind of looks like a virus. So we can't save it as a macro enabled workbook when we submit it, which means that this macro won't show up for grading. So in order for it to be graded properly, we are just going to create a worksheet with that macro code in there so I can grade just the code, and we are going to save this as a regular workbook. It says AutoFit column A. It wants me to change the sheet name to macro code and move that sheet all the way over to the end. It says make the summary sheet active. We're in the last step. Step 11 says click the file tab and then click save as. And we're going to, when we save as, we're going to save it as a regular workbook, no longer macro enabled. And then at the end, it wants you to put underscore VBA. And then click save, and you should be done. Hopefully this was helpful in completing your Chapter 9 grader.